Well, maybe we should, like, sometimes people don't know who we are.
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to introduce ourselves. It is 7 o'clock. We are Retire in Panama Tours. We offer assistance to people looking to retire here, move here, or Plan B alternatives. We do group tours, we do private tours, we help people individually, individual situations. Some people are, doing it on their own, but they still need help with a certain situation, and we can certainly help. And we're here just to tonight, you're getting free advice, basically. My name's Rod. I'm a Canadian. I moved to Panama 8 years ago. I moved here. I'm not retired yet. As you can see, I'm running this business with Oscar. But I moved here in my mid-40s. I had an online business. I continued doing that. Met up with Oscar, who was already here. He'll tell his story in a second, which is much longer than mine. But we started doing business in Stewart. We have about together 15 years experience helping expats get the job done, which is very important. Like I'll go into it later, but ask your advice from the right place. The right place is not a community forum like Facebook. You're not going to get the right advice, and you might get in trouble. But anyways, that shouldn't be part of my introduction. Anyways, I'm here. Oscar, tell us about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you so much to all of you to take the time to share with us and interact with us. I am Oscar Peña. I'm originally from Colombia. I've been in the tourism industry since 2006, and I've been working or living here in Panama since 2009, so a little bit over 10 years. I'm very familiar with the North American culture and Latin American culture, and I feel as just one more Panamanian here. My idea is the only thing I don't have. But I have been working with Rod and with Megan in the last year and a half, and it has been a blessing. I really appreciate you guys give us the trust to get to know us and hopefully have you in your next tour, because there's a lot of things to learn about Panama, and for us, our goal is to show you, and without sugarcoating, if it's real good for you or not. And that's what we can do for you. But first of all, we want to build beautiful relationships all the time.
Perfect. Megan, why don't you say hello? Tell us why you're here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan. I am originally from Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania. I graduated from Penn State and moved to Panama about 2 years ago as a Peace Corps volunteer. And then a couple of months ago, I finished up with Peace Corps and started working with Rod and Oscar with Retire in Panama tours. So it's been really fun doing the tours and sharing everything that I've learned about Panamanian culture the last 2 years. And I'm excited.
Perfect. Megan's actually our operations director. Oscar and I needed that quite bad. I can sell the tours. I can get people to the website. I can help them buy the tour. Oscar can deliver the tour, but it's that piece of the puzzle in between that Megan does to make sure that
the masterpiece, yeah, put things together.
To make sure there's actually a room for you to sleep in,
exactly,
or bed, and to make sure there's a vehicle there to take us around. Minor things. Like cool. Okay. So, bunch of you are muted, bunch of you aren't. Who wants to? Who has the first question, or want to talk about the first topic? We can go by topics. We can go by questions.
Brother Bob has a problem with his microphone.
We can unmute him.
Who does?
Bob.
Bob. Oh, okay.
Who's about to ask a question, possibly?
Yeah, Bob, you're muted, so I can unmute you. Hey, Bob.
Hi there. How you doing?
Hey, very good, sir.
I'm in Florida here. It's about probably the same temperature is right now as it is in Panama City.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, you can't say that for the most of the U.S. right now. Okay.
I'm sorry?
They're cozy.
So do you want to start us off with your first question about Panama, Bob?
What we have is we have a policy that
I think he.
Because the start date and the end date is the same.
You wanna answer the first question, Mr. Bob?
I guess one of the questions that I had initially is
We need to do her essay rifles, which is March 24th.
today I actually went and got some shots for the travel to Panama, and I just wondered what kind of issues some of the expats have run into since they've been down there as far as malaria, dengue fever, that type of stuff. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, it's talked about a lot. What shots are required to come here? There is actually none required, although some, the CDC or other disease control centers might recommend. We're not taking you into the Darien jungle, so there's no risk of dengue, malaria, nothing like that. I've been here 8 years, Oscar 10. We don't know one person that's ever been sick with any of those types of diseases.
In order to be in the high risk, you have to be in an extreme humid in jungle area, where you have tons of water pots and just environment. But that's just straight up in the jungle. Like, it has to be really pushy to ever be in risk to something like that. But we don't have a malaria, yellow fever.
The only
Very unusual.
yeah. The only time I've ever heard of someone coming down with dengue fever was actually someone that's supposed to be on our January tour and had to cancel. He caught it in Thailand. So, and then he was coming on our tour, and then his workplace said, "Well, you can't go there. They have it." Like the media, like there was one native tribe in the eastern Darien jungle that had a few cases of dengue this year. And the media says, "Oh, Panama is a red zone for dengue or black zone." I think they call it. It's not. You're not even required. You're not asked for any of those vaccinations. So, if you want to be protected, when I moved here, I got vaccinated for yellow fever because I thought I might be traveling more in South America. And you should have it if you go to Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
Costa Rica used to.
But
I
not
don't think
anymore.
they do. I got the Twinrix vaccination for hepatitis A/B. So there's nothing wrong with that one. You know, if you eat a lot of street food and stuff like that, you know, you might want to look at getting that. But besides that, really required. Oh.
That answer your question, Mr. Bob?
Yes, it did for right now. Absolutely.
Perfect. Who else has got a question now?
I have a question.
Yes, Karen.
So I'm currently in Georgia and contemplating a move to Panama. I am a naturalized American citizen. I was born in the UK. So are there any complications to that regarding my birth certificate? And I'm just starting the research now, so I don't know entirely what I'm about.
Okay. Do you have dual passports, Karen?
I do not have a current Great British passport. I'm working on an American passport. But I could probably get a British passport.
Yeah, that won't matter.
It doesn't matter. The U.S., U.K., they're all part of Friendly Nations visa and all part of Panama. It doesn't matter where your birth certificate is compared to where your passport, as long as you have a passport from one of those countries.
Because you can apply also with one nationality, either as a U.S. or as a British.
Yeah.
So if you only have a U.S. passport, that's the one you apply for.
But there's not an issue if I'm applying with the U.S. passport, but I have a British birth certificate.
No, it doesn't matter where your birth certificate
Okay.
is when you're applying. It's based on, well, it's just a matter of your ID.
What is your current
Yeah.
nationality? You have passport and all proves that you've been there for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and if you're coming on a pensionado visa, where's your pension from? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I would be going on the Friendly Nations visa, not a pension.
Friendly Nations visa, it's actually called that for a reason. It is the friendliest nation visa available in the world yet to be able to get a visa or under $5,000 total cost and get a permanent residency in a country. So, yeah, you won't have any problems with that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Where's that mute?
Oh yeah.
Is it DJ or DJ?
I don't know.
DJ, how are
Our DJ?
Is our DJ or different DJ?
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Is it our DJ?
¿Estaba bien?
¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
All righty, who's got the next question? We can answer some of the chats too. But, okay, what do we got? Yes, we are muting the background noise. There we go. It seems nice and clean now.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes. I'm trying to find who's speaking right now.
Josh Berkowitz.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Good. I find that I need to, I read a lot. So my question is, how do you download or how do you get books in Panama in general?
Well, I can tell you I'm an avid reader. I read 50 to 100 books a year. I typically have been reading on a Kindle for the last 15 years. So that's my preferential treatment. And the Kindles work here just fine, just like they do in the US. We don't have a lot of English books here compared to North America, but there are some. And they're mostly used. And there's lots of book sales out in our community of Boquete. They have the Handicap Association sells used books for $1 a piece, and they have thousands and thousands, all types, fiction, nonfiction, stuff like that. So I built a library upstairs in my house. I have over 1,000 books in my library. So reading won't be a problem for you, Josh. You'll be able to find lots here.
Most of my books tend to be the ones that I see on the New York book review sections or the New Yorker. So they're very current. They're very au courant, I should say.
Yeah. How are you buying them now?
Sorry?
How are you buying them now?
I'm not buying them. I'm getting them from the library.
Yeah, well, I actually have a library card here with the Free Library of Philadelphia. They allow international library cards, but your library card will work here on your Kindle. So like if you purchase you don't even have to have a Kindle. Check out a site called overdrive.com. You can add your library, log in with your library card and your PIN number, and you have access to online reading for many different devices.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
You can borrow all the ebooks online. And if you already have a library card, you'll be able to use it.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. You can check out books from Rod's library. Yes, you can. Yeah, I have people do that all the time. I always sign the back of it because I never get it back.
Good one. That's a good one.
Megan, do you have my book? Okay.
Working on it.
All righty. Who's next? Who wants a question? You might have to unmute yourself if you're already muted. I could try to unmute you all. Okay, so we're not going to do that anymore. So you're going to...
That didn't work out that well.
Yeah, sorry with the people with the headphones.
Oh, sorry, we're just having such a terrific bad time right now.
Okay, so if you're on a phone and you want to ask a question, hit *6 on your phone. That'll unmute you. And if you on tablet, computer, hit the mute button in the bottom left to unmute you.
Any other?
I'll ask a question, man.
Alcatel, can we know your name?
Hey, Lisha, how are you doing? I just saw you on here.
Oh. Well, yeah, the Alcatel Vince. Vince.
What's your name, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm looking forward to meeting you all here in a couple of weeks.
We are.
Oh, nice.
These are the guys, I don't know if you saw the picture I said. These are the guys that you're going to meet at the airport.
Oh, no, now I'm scared.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
is it a good scare or a bad scare? That's the question.
That's always a good scared.
There we go.
Okay. Got a question, Oscar. How difficult is it to rent and drive a car in Panama?
Well, the rent part is not the complicated. Maybe the challenge part is to drive the car in Panama. But if you're used to driving a very rush city in the States like Chicago or what else, LA perhaps, New York, then you'll be fine. Because I mean, here a little bit, the rule doesn't apply. This sometimes it's just Panama City can be a little bit hectic, especially for a small city. It is very tricky. So you usually get used the Waze application on your phone, but you kind of have to plan ahead because there is some specific times of the day they have the rush hours, and if you're coming into the city, perhaps, or leaving the city, depends on the time, you will be stuck in traffic for 2 hours or more.
But that's just Panama City.
Yeah,
the rest of the country you should be fine, and
yes,
we have really great roads.
The only tricky part will be Panama City, getting in, getting out, and within the city.
Yeah. I like from a non-Latino, I'd like to make one point. Panamanians, Latinos in general, because I visited Costa Rica, Colombia, they're wonderful, wonderful people until you put a windshield in front of them. Then who knows what happens? I don't know what happens to them. They're horrible. They really are not. They're not courteous drivers.
But according to some of my friends in Chicago, they're like
that. Well, in Chicago, they might take a gun out, but that's. But the other thing to remember is when you're driving, there's not a lot of road signs, and the ones that they are, like, do you know what bridge out means in Spanish? No, you don't. You got to be very careful when you're driving. There's going to be some road signs you don't understand. And
so in less words, you got to go with the flow and be very patient. Make sure you have a lot of gas in your vehicle. And good music.
Also, lack of signs.
Yeah,
lack
of signs.
Definitely Waze is our best friend.
Yeah, Waze is the best friend.
It's funny. Like, people don't realize here. I'm living in a house. There is no number on the front of my house. There is no street sign on the corner. So I can't phone the pizza guy and say, come to 123 Rod Street. That doesn't exist. I have to give them turn-by-turn directions. At the school, turn here. At the coconut tree, go left.
And when you say the guy missing the eye is not there, you go to the next street.
Yeah. It's kind of funny in Panama. We have no door-to-door mail delivery. Each electrical company or each utility company delivers their bills, not even in envelopes, and they stick them in your fence, and then the wind blows them away or they rain. It's just ridiculous.
But that's part of the beautiful thing.
Of the culture.
That's the culture part.
I don't mind it at all.
Does
part of the beautiful.
A follow-up question on that. Does Google Maps or anything like that work in Panama?
Yeah, Google Maps works, Waze works. Yeah, it's all excellent. We have street names. I'm on Ninth. We're in Ninth Avenue Northeast, but nobody knows it.
Just Google.
Yeah, just Google knows the street.
Yeah, so there is a way to find out the addresses. But depending on house number. Yeah, but we live in a small town where everything is easy to figure it out. So in Panama City, they do have a street's address.
Yeah, but they still have.
Where are you located right now?
In Alto Boquete.
Yeah.
Boquete,
Cherokee, western side of Panama.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So sometimes I have to say I live in the yellow cream house with the big tree pines in my front yard. Not many homes have like that, but people find it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Emmett, how do we meet at the airport? Emmett, you're coming to one of our tours, Emmett? At the airport, you're just going to walk out of customs and you're going to see us greet you. For those of you on the tour, you walk out, turn right.
We'll be there too.
Yeah. Hey, Warren is from Boquete. He has the Boquete has a great library. It's unlike the rest of the country, unfortunately. Yeah. It was basically, there was I can't remember his name. You know the guy's name that passed away and left most of the money for the library?
Wasn't it the Peterson family?
It might have been.
Well, Peterson's family has been one of the most influenced in that library.
Anyway, yeah, there was a ton of money left, and they built this beautiful library, and it has a huge selection. Like he's saying here, like almost 60% of English books. So there's more books there. Okay, let's go back to Oscar on cars. What type and make of car would you recommend buying in Panama for service, stuff like that?
Straight up Toyota. Anyone, any Toyota you can get, or even Hyundai is very well. What else? Maybe Kia. But the most durable, and if you're working for heavy duty vehicle, like even if it's a fancy SUV or a small four-wheel vehicle like a RAV4 or a pickup truck, Toyota usually is very reliable. The other brands that are still good and very reliable are Ford. They have the Rangers. We have very good agency Hyundai, Kia, and Chevy, and a little bit of Chrysler and Jeep. We have other brands, but some of the services are only allowed in the city, like Audi, BMW, even Ferrari. That's other brands, yeah. But the most commercial and easy to get part and service will be at Toyota. It will be sometimes, depends on the model, a little bit more pricey, but you get all that. And also, it's very good, easy to sell and buy.
Okay, next question is definitely directed to me. From George. Hi, my wife and I are Canadians. Do we have to give up our Canadian citizenship to move to Panama full time?
Nope.
You were looking at a Canadian. If I could go to my bedroom and have my passport and my cedula. No, you don't. When you move here full time, you do not become a citizen of Panama. You become a permanent resident. You maintain your Canadian citizenship. So you can always go back there if you wanted to. Like some people have gone back to take advantage of the healthcare system because they got sick or something. But I entered Panama with my Canada passport. Not like you have to enter Canada with a passport. You don't enter with a residency card, but you show your residency card along with it to go through that system easy. So no, you keep your citizenship. There is an option in Panama after you've had permanent resident for 5 years. You can get Panamanian citizenship if you want. Now, that being said, you can look at what's written online, look everywhere. The law is Panama does not offer dual citizenship. So they will ask you to rescind your other citizenship, but they don't follow up and they don't care if you do. So I know a lot of people that carry 2 passports. I'm actually considering doing it this year myself. So for no apparent reason, otherwise I like the James Bond film movies and I want to have more than 1 passport. So the car, and one more here I'll do. If one is considering the move, is there a requirement for border runs? That term border run really doesn't exist anymore. And this is from David. It's no longer legal. What used to happen in Panama, even when I came here 8 years ago, you were allowed to stay 180 days, and then you would go to the Costa Rica, pop across for 3 days, come back, get a new stamp, and stay. And there were permanent tourists living in Panama as residents. Well, it wasn't really because of North Americans being the problem. It was more Venezuelans and other countries that the government wanted to control the immigration. So they made a law 2 years ago that you must leave the country for 30 days. As the law is actually written, I've actually read the good translations, and you must return to your home country for 30 days. But they don't enforce that. But they do enforce you leaving the country for 30 days.
At least for international airport.
Yeah. So no, from the Costa Rica border.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Costa Rica border runs are over. So don't even try it, because we know people that have been stranded there. They've said no.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Especially if you're renting a home, you own a car, maybe your pet's at the pet sitter. So you don't even want to try that. It takes less than 6 months to get your permanent residency in Panama. So if you make the decision to move here, within 4 months, you should have your permanent residency card, whether you're on the pensionado or the pensions.
In the end, you will save tons of stress, even money. You just get it done.
Trust me, Oscar helped me with my first border run, because that was how we did things back then. It is stressful doing a Costa Rican border run. Not the funnest place. A ton of questions. Okay. We've done some reading about Bulketti, and it seems lovely, except people are looking for more summertime climate than spring type climate. Summer, warmer and drier. What part of Panama is going to give us the warmest and driest?
Pedacito. The peninsula of Azuero is the warmest and the driest in the whole coast in Panama. Especially right now, it's extremely dry, which is good. But you have to like live what it comes with. If it's dry place, it's gonna. And sometimes of the year it's gonna be all brown. But the beaches and the Azuero Peninsula, where it goes Pedacito, Benao Beach, all the way down to Cambutal, Las Tablas, beaches close to Tonotí. I mean,
all of the beaches on the Pacific coast, you'll get nice warm weather.
Yeah.
But the peninsula, the Azuero is definitely the driest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look on the website, retireandpanamatours.com, just look down on the right-hand side under Climate of Panama. There's an article there that talks about it, all the different areas, how much rain. Like Pedacito area is like 40 inches of rain a year, which is really not a lot when you understand tropical rain. Because when it does rain here, it rains an inch in an hour. And then it's over.
Gas and dogs.
Yeah, yeah. So Pedacito, if you look at the landscape when you're driving down that way, it's more like ranch land. And like it's not like Arizona, but it's more like ranch land as opposed to the lush green jungle that the rest of Panama is. Okay.
Mostly just cattle farming and sugarcane.
Yep. And rice farms.
And some corn.
Okay, so that was for George. That's Diane. Can you get a P.O. box office? Well, you can get, for your mail here, is always an issue. It's different, but it's really not. You already have this stuff in the U.S. and Canada. I use Mailbox, etc. And they have 15 locations in Panama. They have one in Bulketti. I walk in. I do a little deal with them. I pay them $28 a month. I get a mailbox address in Miami that all my letter mail and my package mail is shipped to. And then 4 days later, it arrives here. Now, for the letter mail, in the beginning, you might need that more than 8 years down the road. You're going to have your banks, you're going to have Social Security, you need a mailing address in the States, and you need that mail forwarded here. Now, for package stuff, I'm an online shopper. Like really, if this was the 1990s, I would be one of those 1-800 guys on the phone at night and late night TV on QVC buying everything. But now you just go on Amazon and buy it. So I order packages all the time. So I have a service that I pay a monthly fee on. There are many other companies that you don't have to pay monthly fees. You just pay per use. You want to order some makeup from Amazon, something you can't buy here. It'll be here in 4 or 5 days. So that's the type of mail we have. The actual post office, we have a post office here. But let's say you wanted to send me a letter. You would send it to Rod Larrabee, General Delivery. How do I say that in Spanish? What? How do I say General Delivery in Spanish? Entrega General, Bulketti, Panama 0413. And then you put an international stamp on it, and I would get it several months later. So we do have that.
Yeah.
I used to do that in David.
Now, packages going out is different. The post office works here because they use EMS, which is the worldwide courier service tied to the post office. So I could send a box, this big, okay, for your people on the phone. I'm showing a like 1 foot by 1 foot box for about $13 to the U.S. and it'll get there in about 10 days with tracking. So going out, it does work.
So it was or DJ? Hey,
yeah.
DJ.
DJ, you missed us so much. You just wanted to video call.
Oh, there he is. Hey,
yeah.
DJ. Uh-oh.
Unmute DJ.
I'm muted.
There we go.
Yeah.
There, now we hear you.
We hear you.
How are you,
Oh,
DJ?
he's muted again.
He muted himself again.
See, this proves, okay, this is going to be a plug. DJ came with us on our August tour.
Yes.
And he still likes us. So really,
for some reason,
DJ
DJ still likes us.
Yeah.
DJ.
Oh yeah, you might see me again pretty soon.
You're on another tour?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Are you coming all the way to Bulketti or what?
Well, I'm going to come and let you drive me all over the place again. What a wonderful way to do the tour of visiting the country. I mean, you literally sit back in a van and watch these people drive you around. They take care of all the food. They take care of all the lodging. They take care of taking us to the best places. I mean, you know, anybody who's interested, just do it. Just do it.
Well, that was a totally unplanned plug, but we appreciate you and Mel.
Oh, bless your soul, man. Thank you for those words. Really kind of you.
Okay, let's move on. We have Jean Marie. Any advantage to retiring in Panama as a dual citizen, Canadian, Belgium, regarding visa needs? No, it's just a friendly nation. We have dual citizens. Both of those countries are part of the Friendly Nations program. On our tours, do the length vary? On our group tours, they are 7 days long, like basically 6 full days and a half day. They start on a Thursday and we end on a Thursday. And our group tours are run virtually every month on retireandpanamatours.com. You can look under the booking side for when those tours are. But we also do private tours if that's something you're interested in. Some people don't like crowds, but some people have special requests. Like on the group tours, if you have children that are in school, we're probably not going to be able to help you out there. But we have that case on a private tour coming up, and we have set meetings up with all the top private schools in the country that couple will be able to see. And also on the private tours, on the group tours, we're not going to sit you down with tax specialists who, because you have a citizenship in one country and a green card in the U.S. and how you're going to handle that. We can't do that on a group tour. A group tour has to be based on what the 10 people, you know, in common need. So if you're looking for something a little more specific, contact us.
We can always
private tours. We can talk about that.
We can tell her as much as you want the tour, and all you have to say, Oscar, jump, and now we can ask her how high. That's it. Well, that's pretty much what they did. Even with the 10 people group, allow us to keep it even semi-private and also work on your. We can be spontaneous on your benefit always.
Yeah.
So let's say sometimes we can, if you can stop in a random sugarcane spot in the Suero Peninsula, we'll stop and try to get some fresh sugarcane juice, you know, just stuff like that. So it allows us to do more things spontaneously and sometimes adjust for your benefits.
Okay, let's talk about cell phone plans. Tell them, like, what do you have? Like,
I have the company, it's called Digicel. It's not the most famous in Panama, but for now it's working for me. And I'm paying $35, unlimited data, and unlimited calls either.
Yeah. And with that being said, I don't know exactly Oscars, most of them allow 200 to 500 minutes to US, Canada, places like that.
Yep.
So really, it's, I know, I'm not from the US, as you guys know, but I ran a business in the US and had a bunch of employees, and I know what their cell phone plans cost them. It's about half here for the same thing. And we have 4 companies, and we're a small country, and 99% of this country is covered by cell phone service. And we got, like, we don't have 5G, but we got LTE, 4G. And it's the same, you're going to pay around $30, $35 for unlimited, depending on how many minutes you need. And people don't text here. Like really, they have no one text messages. They all use WhatsApp.
Number 1 communication is WhatsApp.
Yep, WhatsApp, and many North Americans don't know what WhatsApp is.
WhatsApp.
WHATAPP. How am I saying it? WhatsApp. If you are actually going to, I just put it in the chat. If you're going to move to a foreign country, whether it's Panama or anyone else, you're going to have WhatsApp installed on your phone. It's available for Android and Apple. And has 2 billion users on it. It's the biggest communications. It's voice, chat, video, everything you want. Group.
You can send files, you can send pictures.
Group video calls.
Group video calls.
So that being said, unlimited phones here don't include text messaging. Most of them include maybe 100 texts that, and then they start charging you. So it seems kind of weird, I know, but I don't know.
It's cheaper
Yeah.
to chat on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, you just use data or Wi-Fi to use.
Yeah. How often are these calls? We try to do these calls about every 6 weeks. So that's our schedule right now. Local phone, okay, local phone we talked about. My home provider recommended getting a phone service. Yeah. Yeah, once you move, like once you get here, if you're in the process of residency, like which takes within 2-3 weeks to get a temporary card, you can get a postpaid plan with any of the cell phone companies.
As long as your cell phone is unlocked.
Yeah, as long
Make sure the cell phone is
your
unlocked.
phone's unlocked. If you have a locked iPhone that you want to bring down here,
Not gonna work.
you know,
Only on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. you might need to get a new phone, or you can get them unlocked. Just Google unlock my iPhone. But
Or if it's on plan, it has to be paid, all of that.
yeah. Okay. If I wanted to purchase a business so I have some income, is there a brokerage for businesses?
There is out there, even a lawyer knows it, and it's sometimes in the social media. Sometimes or a team of real estate that's knows.
We have. I can think of 2 reputable guys. Be careful on your Facebook, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We got Mike and we got what's his name?
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah. We do know people because, fortunately, in a foreign country, you have to be so careful because even they will live here in Panama. If we want to purchase a business, we have to do really extremely due diligence about what is the condition of the company. If you have any legal issues, who is the owner, and all that background check.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely can point you out to the most reliable team to find a good investment.
Yeah, for sure. You want businesses that are vetted well, because the problem here, if you get into a legal problem, it can be years with your money tied up. So it's kind of, I've heard the term kangaroo court here, like the civic court system.
Oh, but there is another thing I like it. Like sometimes people think about buying over like corporations. They're already out there.
Yeah.
They're very cheap.
Yeah.
Those usually are very dangerous because sometimes you might say, "Oh, I'll sell a corporation for $500," and a corporation costs around $1,500.
Yeah.
But what you don't know is you're paying $500 just for the corporation, but you don't know what is that corporation tied with. That could be a legal issues, could be a nightmare. So to save in the beginning some money, you actually might lose a lot more.
It's funny. I had it in my notes to talk about this tonight because this is kind of Oscar just brought it up. And this has been heavy on my heart. My thing is, my job in the company is to answer the phones and answer the emails. And this is the biggest challenge I have is when people contact me and they've been screwed over. And they're not, I have to help them. Like, I don't make any money doing that, but, I have to help them. And 9 times out of 10, they got the information on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, just this week, things I've seen on Facebook is a lady who got a quote to help bring her dog to Panama, and the quote was for $10,000.
$16,000.
Sorry, $16,000.
$16,000.
Yes. What do you think of that, Diane? You know what it costs because I told you, Diane, what it's going to cost you to bring your dogs. And she might have gone with it, but she got it off of Facebook. I've seen, I saw some really bad advice of a lady asked a very specific question. Her and her husband just got their temporary visas, so that means it's going to be 3 more months till the permanent one. Her husband is over 70 and has his medical checkup, and she was talking about driver's licenses. People recommended to her, if you get stopped by the police, just don't show your temporary residency card. And don't bother. It's a waste of time spending the 2 hours to get your driver's license because you have to get it again after you get your permanent one. Well, here's what she doesn't know. That if her husband drives that car and gets in an accident, and the insurance company is going to look at his situation and is going to put his name to immigration, find out he's on a temporary residency, his U.S. license is not valid. So how would you like to start your life in Panama with a $60,000 lawsuit from an insurance company against you. So it's horrible advice people are giving in this Facebook group. And what they don't tell you is your temporary license is good for 1 year. So you the day after you get the day you get your temporary visa, you have to go get your license. Your U.S. license is no longer valid. The law is 100% clear. So you go get your license, and they had bad advice from a lawyer, and they got bad advice from social media. And I tried to straighten them out. I hope they saw my advice. Go get it. You'll be good for 1 year, and then you got to do it again. So the guy's 70. He's got to do it every 2 years anyways.
Yeah.
So, and it's one thing after another that I'm seeing. The worst groups, and I'm going to call them out here, I'm sorry, expats in Panama. The big one is 14,000 members. They're toxic. They're really toxic. If you're looking for a good group, if you're thinking about Boquete, we have expats in Boquete. Oscar and I monitor, and we'll shut down anyone that's giving bad advice. It's just, sad. And I get calls.
Also young expats in Boquete.
Yeah, and expats in Boquete and young expats in Boquete. People will give you the right advice, and so just be very, very careful out there. I got a call from a guy that wanted me to find a lawyer for him that he gave $1,000 to a year ago.
But also on Boquete News, they will be good. Yeah.
So be very careful on the advice that you take on Facebook. That was my rant for tonight, because I had another issue today that I just shook my head when I saw it. And I can't be online all the time correcting these people. People that say, oh, if you get your permanent residency in Panama and you're a Canadian, you lose your pension. Just false information. You can go right to the government pension site and see that they will put your pension in a Canadian bank account. You don't lose your pension because you decided to retire in a different country. Anyways, I get really worked up.
Well, definitely you guys know by now that we care about you more than anything.
Yeah. Oscar, let's talk about renting first before you come here and move and buy.
Good idea.
Yes. Always check out Feel It, because in one of my videos, one of my suggestion is you have to feel, if you're going on a tour, you got to feel the 7 days. You might have expectations the first day, the second day, the third day, until the last day, but it grows. So the first place maybe will be the place you think you're gonna move in, but you will not know until you hit the last place. And after you have all the full experience, you have a better idea what will be the best that will suit you. And based on that, then of course you're gonna rent, and you still wanna go to experience the life style of the spot, either it's Boquete or Pedacillo or Vallarton, whatever it is. Then you know, okay, makes sense, I'm gonna buy, or does it make sense?
It's best to rent first,
Yeah,
because
always.
you also don't know what that area is going to be like in different times of the year.
Exactly.
So, like this time of year, downtown Boquete, we have the flower festival going on, and it's very loud downtown for 10 days straight. And that's fine for some people, and for other people, they realize, oh, I don't want to live downtown, even though I thought I wanted to live downtown. So it's definitely good to rent first and see where you want to end up buying, possibly.
Go. Okay. They're absolutely right. Oh, I want to say a quick hi to Donna in the bottom corner. I just saw you there in the camera, Donna. How are you?
Hola, Donna.
Hi there, Ron.
We're going to see you.
That's right.
Okay, let's go. Next question. They're lining up. Oh, there we go. Talking about make money. There we go. I do a whole talk on this on the tour, guys. With a pensionado, is the person allowed to make money, make any income, such as teaching English online? There's two questions. There's two answers to that question. Panama, you are not allowed to make money in Panama without a work permit from Panamanian sources. So let's look at teaching online. Let's say you come to Panama and pensionado visa, you don't have a work visa, and you teach English online to Japanese students. No
in
problem.
Japan.
No, yeah, and you do it on Skype. But if you're trying to teach English online to a Panamanian and take money for it, you can't do that. So It has to be, so if you want to earn income from Panamanian sources, you need to go to Friendly Nations visa and get a work visa. Now the penalty for being caught starts at $10,000 fine and being kicked out of the country. So you don't want to do that. And here's a perfect example. I know a pensionado that opened a restaurant. You can do that. You can do the books in the restaurant. You can hire staff. You can fill out a schedule. These are jobs that the Panamanian couldn't do. But you can't wait the table. You can't run the cashier, the cash machine.
Wash dishes.
You can't wash dishes.
This
guy had a disgruntled employee who reported them to the Social Security Department that he was doing those jobs, and he got an inspection and he got caught. He's a pensioner. He's not allowed to do that stuff in his own business. Now, I don't know what's happened. It's very costly to resend your pensionado and get a Friendly Nations visa with a work permit. You can't do it. But that's why I always advise people, especially the younger people. When I say younger, I mean less than 70, like all of us here. You might, I know so many people came to Panama thinking they were retired, and 3 years later they started a business because they just feel better and things are, you know, and they enjoy it down here. So consider both visas. And we're going to really on the tour talk about that. We'll be talking right with the lawyer about it and all your options there. So I hope that answers your question. So yes, you can teach English online. You cannot teach to anyone in Panama. Can you write or repeat the tour website? Because, okay, let me put the tour website. I always forget some of you didn't come directly through my list here. You came through other marketing sources. And I put the tour website in the chat to everyone. Okay. Ooh, gotta go up here. Can you write a yeah, tour website? What's up? When I was there in August, I was on the phone with T-Mobile and got, yeah, be coming down here to check it out. Be coming down here to check Panama out with your phone. Just call your, as long as you're with one of the major phone companies, they can slap a roaming package on for $40 and you can use your phone just like normal. But when you move here, that's when you probably want a Panama number because the bank's going to ask for it. The electrical company's going to ask for it. Okay, I have 5 large Rubbermaid bins of personal belongings to bring. What would be the best way to get them from Atlanta to Boquete? You kind of sound like Miguel. When I did my move here, I came with 2 suitcases, and then I had a bunch of, I had those Rubbermaid, those big plastic containers. I had them all sealed up. Several options. If you send an email to me, info@Retiring Panama Tours, or on the contact, I'll connect you with a guy in Florida that runs containers every week. He consolidates the containers, so you'll get a really good rate. He can deliver the stuff anywhere in Panama that you want. And because you don't want to use the regular mailbox, etc. type people and pay $5 a pound and stuff like that. You want to try to bring it in. Or you can ask, he can bring it in on maritime freight, which is ocean freight, which takes 3 weeks, which is again quite a bit cheaper. So lots of options. Send me an email and I'll let you know some contacts there. Okay, here's a big one. How do you bring your dogs? Okay. Oscar, you don't mind if I get this because I kind of wrote the article on it.
Oh, yeah, get it.
Okay, I just want to see. They moved the button to share my screen. Why?
And the other one here?
That's
this
mute.
one. Oh, this one in the middle. This one.
That's the microphone. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, my screen share. Okay. If you go to retireinpanamatours.com, and who asked me this specifically? George. Just in a search, type in pets. You'll find an article I wrote, and I update this almost every month. Bringing your pets to Panama from the U.S. and Canada. I'm not going to go in details because it would be painful. This article is 2,000 words. It's extremely complicated, but not difficult if you follow instructions. You have to get your flight booked. And you got to find the airline. This article will explain all the airlines. You want to try to find a direct flight for your poor puppy. You don't want them transferred between flights, especially if they're in cargo. You want to skip United if you want to do it yourself, because United will force you to use their carrier, which will cost you an extra $800. Starting 10 days before, you got to meet with your vet. He has to fill out the certification forms. You have to send these forms to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and then they have to go to the Embassy of Panama in Washington, D.C. to be authenticated. There's little bits of money you got to send everyone. Everyone makes their money. You got to get them back. You got to notify.
And you lost me there already.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I can't. I could have a whole call on moving your pets, and I might do that one day. But read the article. Here, I'm going to put the full link.
Yeah, it's all about
and bookmark this.
It's all about the following instructions.
Yeah, following
and just be very thorough about the specific things or requirements they ask. That's it.
Yeah.
As long as you follow that specifically.
And you got to have the timeline. You got to pay. We got to arrive in Panama City. You got to pay the fees, $130 per pet, plus $15 per pet. And
in cash.
You have to have in cash, exact change. Otherwise, it just won't be taken. I swear to God.
Yeah.
You got to file for home quarantine, or they're going to keep your dog for 40 days and charge you $10 a day, and feed it really bad dog food. So you don't want that. That's the article. We can help you. We offer a service. We offer expat services too. We'll meet you at the airport. If there are issues in customs, somebody Latino will help you with that. We'll take you to a pet-friendly hotel if you have to stay overnight.
Right here.
We will have a vehicle there to move all your luggage, all your dogs, all their crates to wherever your destination is. So we can help you on that end. And our service also provides me helping you with the paperwork and approving everything before. So I actually look at all the paperwork, make sure it has the right stamps on it. We get a hold of the vet, make sure he's actually working that day, minor things like that. So, and like I say, it's not a impossible thing to do. It's actually quite simple if you follow all the steps.
Or we always can make it easier for you.
Okay, well, medical insurance like Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you have international coverage with them. But international coverage, most international travel coverage it might be accepted here, but you're still going to have to pay for it and get reimbursement. So if you live here, it will not. Once you become a resident, you need to buy
Panamanian.
You need to buy, well, not really a Panamanian
company. But meaning making sure this is your home base.
Yes. You need to file as a resident here, purchasing from a health insurance company that's legally allowed to sell health insurance. Now, again, on our tour, we're going to meet with an expert on this, but I'm talking about Cigna, Worldwide, like all the big companies. They all have offices here, and you get plans through them, and then you go to the hospital, and the hospital bills them, and you don't have to pay out of pocket. But if you come in here for a visit and you're using your Blue Cross or something like that for your international coverage, it will, you have to check with that first, but make sure that the plan you have has international coverage. Driver's license process. Oscar, is it difficult to get Panama driver's license? Do you need to speak Spanish to get the license?
Well,
this is for Francine.
Yes or no. All depends where you're going to do the paperwork of your driver's license. Once you have the temporary residency, you need to go to the embassy, either U.S. Let's talk about U.S. You have to go to U.S. embassy with your U.S. driver's license and your passport. And you request a certificate with a paper. It's basically you get certified your U.S. driver's license, meaning that the U.S. driver's license is legit and has no issues on it. They'll give you a piece of paper, certifying the driver's license. With that paper, you go to the Panamanian driver's license. You present that. You present your residency and your U.S. driver's license. They do a very simple test here, eyes, and that's it. And then you get your Panamanian driver's license. That's all it is. The most complicated thing is to get the paperwork from the embassy. That's it. But usually you go to the Certros and Panamanian driver's license. It's pretty much straightforward. And also, all you have to ask here is your blood type. because they need it here.
Yeah, you might, if your blood type's not on your current license, you have to go to a medical place to get a test. And you got to bring that document too. If you don't have a license, you know they now offer the license in the written part in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if
if
you don't have a
even
license,
if you
you
feel
can take the test in English. Yeah.
But if you feel confused, if you feel like there is something you don't feel comfortable doing by yourself, we always can offer that assistance as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you don't really need to speak Spanish. You only need to speak Spanish to read that bridge out sign. I use it as an example because when I first got here, you and I were driving to the border. Remember the bridge that was washed out all the time?
Oh, yeah.
And I asked you, because there was a Spanish sign on the side of the road. Can you imagine you don't know? The sign said the bridge is not there.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it said. And so, okay. What does it cost to bring a dog to Panama? If you do it all yourself, you're looking at it, depending if the dog's going under or in the cabin, $500 to $700 for all the fees. That includes everything except buying the kennel. Like that's gonna, but includes the airlines are about $200 for cargo. I think $150 for inside the cabin. You're looking at your vet bills, your authentication processes. You're looking at $150 when you get to Panama. So bank on $500 to $700. How fast is the internet? You know what? People think people talk about it as a third world country. You can get 1,000 megs internet in Bukit. Who asks? Jean Marie. Nope. Bob. Nope. I don't know. My screen just popped up.
Gene.
Oh, Gene. Yeah, 1,000 megs.
It was me. It was me.
Oh, okay.
You're a fellow Canadian from Quebec.
Yes. Yes.
How are you today?
Yeah, I know.
Great job, you guys, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I have 160 megs here just because I don't need any more. So I got the bundle because it's always cheaper with the bundle. And so I have 200 TV channels, of which about 100 are English, 160 meg, and a landline for $52 a month.
That's right. That's great.
It's insane. Like I know what it costs. I've had like apartments in Vegas and Austin, Texas, and I can get up to 1,000 megs here. You can in about 80% of Panama right now. They're just laid fiber optics in our network. The second company. So we expect prices to go down because the competitor who can't offer the 1,000 megs as of in a few months will be.
And we live in a neighborhood that is not, it's very good neighborhood in Alto Boquete, but it's not like, I won't say like luxury neighborhood, but we just got all the lines of the fiber optic. So
that's really good.
We can have all the good options with the other provider and prices will go down for sure.
Oscar and I are next door neighbors. I know it's kind of weird, but it just worked out that he moved in next to me and just because he can
it was meant to be for the good sake of you guys. You have better interaction and mobility.
No, you moved in next to me so you can open the gate and throw your dog in my yard.
That too. That happens too. But that's because I'm taking care of you guys in the city and all the places I'm showing you.
I've enjoyed your website and especially the motocross because I'm a motocrosser. So I have a lot of questions about that.
All right, so we're gonna do some dirt biking or what?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh nice,
perfect.
You gonna come? You gonna come?
Yeah, I hope. She wants to come. She wants to come too.
Actually, I have a question. We're three couples. Yeah. Three guys want to ride, but the ladies don't. What happens? Can the ladies come along to the hotels? Or?
Yeah, there is hotels. They can come along with it. I can arrange actually with this company to do super like customized experience wherever you want to do the dirt bike or the enduro tour. Ladies can be in the 4-wheel drive with a separate driver, be chilling in the spa, maybe in the nearest location, in a nice margarita while you guys are just having an splendid, extreme adrenaline adventure. Simple as that.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll make that happen.
Yeah. Hey, Gail. I'm picking up my permanent Friendly Nations visa in March. Woohoo! I want to get my driver's license. Should I do it immediately or wait to get it in Dunedin in April? I'm a little reluctant to get it in Panama City. Okay, yeah, I know how people drive there. What you have to do, Gail, I don't know if you're from the U.S. or not, but if you are, you need to get on the embassy's website and make an appointment try to get it for the same day in March that you're picking up your visa, or the next day, because you need to get your existing license authenticated. And last I heard, they were several weeks behind in appointments. So you need to get, like, you just can't walk in and get your license authenticated at the U.S. Embassy right now. So once you have that authenticated, that paperwork should be good for 60 days, 90 days, and then you get your license here and leave if you want. But make sure you get that on your trip when you're picking up your friendly nations visa. Get yourself authenticated. Okay, Lisha, there's no exact address. Is there a type of 911 service? Panama City has 911, only in the city.
In Navid also we have here.
Yeah, it's something else. But
we have the 911. But speaking about Boquete, we do now. The mayor's office has ambulance 24/7. The Policlínica, which is the public hospital service, also have an ambulance. We have currently 2 ambulances 24/7 in Boquete, and there is a fast line here that you can do it.
Yeah. There's also private services out there. The one most expat use in Boquete is called Rodney Direct. He's a Panamanian. He runs a company with all English-speaking people 24/7. You get a gate and a number for your fence that you put on your front gate, and you call them 24/7 for any emergency. They're in English. They communicate. They know where you are after the profile that you fill out. They communicate with police, fire, ambulance, whatever they need, and they get the service to you. That's $80 a year. So Panama City has options like that. Coronado has one of those. Kel said something about Tennessee area having services like that. So even if you don't have that, see the problem with 911, their operators are Spanish. In Panama City, if you phone 911, you're not going to be speaking English. This is a Spanish country, folks. Whatever you read online, everyone doesn't speak English in Panama. Okay, sorry.
You have to make an effort with the language barrier. My suggestions always the easiest to make things happen is get your numbers, get your greetings, and just the basic commands to start with. And then from there you grow out your vocabulary.
Yeah.
But I mean, there in some areas you get away just speaking English, like in the city, maybe Boquete, but this is like Rod said, Spanish country, so that can be an issue. But for the most part, people get by as long as you're willing to jump in that part of the line, to be willing to learn more than just the reading.
You know, an expat community for me is more about playing pickleball or bridge with people in the afternoon. I don't do that. An expat community to me is many expats come here and they open up businesses to serve the expats. And it makes me a non-Spanish speaker. 8 years, I still haven't learned the language, so it's possible, folks. But if I want to go get my car fixed, I can go talk to Steve. He's an expat that's opened up an auto mechanic place. Stuff like that. If I want to get my couch and carpet steam cleaned, I can call Danny. He's an expat that saw a need for that because Panamanians don't have carpets, but expats do. So he started a business doing it. And so for me, this guy who started the Rodney Direct, he was a Panamanian. He saw all these expats, they need help. And he started a great business. And what is that? $10 a month? No, it's less than that. It's $8 a month. Yeah. And you can phone them up, and you can even phone them up for, hey, I've had no water for 2 days. Can you find out why? Services like that. Which happens here. This is Panama. Don't let people tell you. I saw, that's why I was upset. I saw someone post today. We're having the fair right now. Well, Boquete has 25,000 people, and over a 10-day period, we have 200,000 admissions to our fair. Now, we have no extra washrooms installed. Every hotel is in use. And so guess what happens to the water pressure up on the hill here where we live? There's less water pressure. And water actually goes out once in a while.
It might be a little noisy.
I had someone complain, I took one of those tours, it wasn't ours, and they never told me it was going to be like this living in Boquete, that I've had no water now for 3 days. And if you're, trust me, if you guys come with us and you're looking for a place to live, I'm going to ask you a couple things. Does it have water backup? What areas is it in? I can tell you about the power problems they have there if you're going to need some type of a system. We've been on this call, last time we were on this call, and we had a blackout. Yeah. But we continued to call because I know enough that in the business I do, I need backup for my computer equipment. So everything stayed running. So how did I go from 911 to that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That was a long explanation of the 911, but there you go.
You're very passionate about the social media.
Yes, I know people posting on social media and having problems. River rafting companies in Bukit.
There is two. There is two river rafting. Both are great. Both provide good services. There is Bukit Outdoor Adventures and Bukit Safari Tours. They're really good. Never had any complaint from both of them. So there is. Now, where they do the rafting is in the river right at the border with Costa Rica, the Chiriquí Viejo. That's the river they mostly use. And they run it not every single day. Some days they might not run it because unfortunately it's controlled by a dam, electric power dam. So some days they might have more waters than others. And some days there is no water, enough water to run rafting. But the companies, they'll tell you the days available. When they say this gate you can go no problem. Now the classification of this rafting is around 4 maximum, between 2 and 4, but 4 will be extremely rough. Usually we call it a 3. Equivalent to United States will be like a 4.5, because the rivers here are very strong. It's a lot of boulders, so you get a lot of action. But it's pretty cool, and they have a pretty safe logistics.
What are the massage places like in like the Haven and stuff like that? Like what does it cost to go for a professional massage?
Well, it depends. There is some people.
I know it was a 2-part question: the rafting and massage.
Okay, so about the massage, there is some hotels. There is some resorts to offer these fancy luxury treatments. There is Isla Verde, Valle Escondido, which is the largest resort we have in the area of Boquete, for instance, talking about Boquete, and Heaven Spa. There is other massage therapists in other locations and other people that do it more independent. The cost will be from $35 to $95. It depends on the location. Well, let's say you get a package from Valle Escondido. You get the massage, but if you want to hang out the rest of the day, it's like beautiful swimming pool, heated water. There is a hot tub, it's a steam room, and you can enjoy that for hours after your massage. So that's one of the best places. You pay a little bit more, but you get a lot more in return. So it depends the budget, basically. Yeah, and we have plenty of options.
Yeah, there's lots of expats that have the massage tables that come to the house.
Chiropractors
get referrals, and they're probably even cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, Gail, your immigration lawyer told me it took 1.5 months to get an appointment for driver's license. Yes, I have heard 3 to 6 weeks right now at the U.S. Embassy. They must have a staffing problem. It's never been that long, and that's to authenticate your current U.S. driver's license. You do not have to do a written or road test if you already have a license. You have to do a sight and a hearing test. That's it. And, oh, yeah, they do one, you know, they hold up a bunch of signs and they ask you which one is the left turn or whatever. So it's a very simple procedure if you have a valid license. And there's no wait in Canada. Why? Because Canadians are way better. No, just kidding. The Canadian Embassy, a different building, like different, Canadians don't have a wait right now. So that's the only reason why. Can you get American sports channels? Pretty well, honestly. Everything that not everything, but like NFL Select, whatever it's called.
That has to be a extra.
Like NFL Pass, yeah. Most of those are available on
more like a complete plan,
like added for cable. But you can also look at. You can use services like
Sky.
Sky.
DirecTV.
DirecTV's out of Puerto Rico. I don't know how much they have.
Well, they have here probably for those.
But no, I'm thinking of Sling. With a VPN, you can run Sling, which you can get all the U.S. sports channels and stuff like that. you're gonna have to pay for it, but it's so like a lot of people use Sling for that in the USA. So we're way over time. We got to get to the last few questions. Okay, talk about bringing over a vehicle, importing a vehicle. Oscar does this for people, imports, exports vehicles.
Well,
or purchasing when you get here.
Yeah, so importing. The one number thing I will ask you, what is the vehicle you're gonna bring here? And also the reasons why, because sometimes it can be more expensive and it takes time, 2 to 3 months sometimes, the process to bring the vehicle to Panama. And you end up paying taxes unless you have a receipt of the vehicle. The authorities of Panama, the customs, will give a value. Let's say if the car is cost 50 grand, they might give you a value the same price, maybe less, or maybe more. But that's the way it is.
Any value they want.
Any value they want. So usually they go by the year. So let's say, but also you have to make sure if the car you're bringing here to Panama, you will get service. If you can have mechanics, if you can have also parts. If you're bringing something commercial like a Ford, like a Toyota, like, well, I don't know, what else, like Hyundai. More standard models. Yeah, because if you bring here a Buick, if you bring here a Jaguar or a Classic, you might end up having some issues with maintenance and also to find parts for it. You have to bring it from the States. So unless it's a baby or unless it's a car that is still commercial here in Panama, you can bring it. Like I actually just did a job with a friend of mine. He is bringing a Jeep, a Wrangler, but he had modified. He has lift up, like that car can climb the Baru volcano. But that car is still good value here in Panama because the model of the car. So it didn't make sense. And he's actually picked it up yesterday in Panama City. And the job that I do is connecting with the most reliable broker in Panama, and also the broker in everywhere in Florida, Evergreen?
Yeah, Evergreen.
Evergreen in Florida. So it takes about, estimate 8 days between shipping from Florida to Panama, but sometimes, depends on the time of the year, can be slower or faster.
For most people, it makes sense to sell your car wherever you are.
And buying something new here.
It's very affordable here.
Yeah, I'll add the biggest thing I've heard, two things. One, we have no emission controls in Panama. So number one thing, your exhaust is a problem here because you have a catalytic converter. Most mechanics have never seen one. Number two is if it's a U.S. vehicle, it's cursed because your speedometer is in miles and your resale value just died because Panamanians don't want an imported vehicle. They want something that's been here. If you come on a friendly nations visa, on a pensionado visa, and it has that wonderful deal, import a car duty free. When you go to sell that, the tax is then owed. So it doesn't make sense really to bring cars unless. And then also when you're
importing the car with a pensionado visa, you end up paying legal fees and more. It will take longer. So in the end, it doesn't even make sense either. So unless the car, if you really own it, you want to bring it here, that's different. Otherwise, the best choice is just sell your car in the States or Canada and get a new one here or a second hand.
Okay. George, what is the name of the hotel in Panama City? Considering doing it too, but you arrive on the Wednesday. Hey George, if you book with us and you arrive on a day early, you just notify me that I reserved the room. I'll take care of the room for you, and I will bill you for it. That way, you won't have to move out on Thursday and check into a new room. So we stay at the Riande Granada downtown, but let us look after those reservations. I'll get you the name and the address so you can get there with an Uber or a taxi. And we will.
Yeah, we can send you even a pickup.
Yeah, we can. If you want to get picked up, we can arrange that for you. Okay, Jean, how many French speaking? I only know one. I'm sorry. I don't know a lot of French speaking people that have settled here.
Although I know how to do a Spanish breaks accent.
Yeah,
that counts.
Yeah. Well, and the worst thing is, Jean, my last name is Lahibe, and I don't speak a word of it. so sorry about that. I've always felt bad all my life. My dad and his family were all French, but my mom just couldn't learn it. She tried so hard. So, okay, banking fees. Boy, you Google this online and look on or ask the question in Facebook, you'll get 1,000 answers, and most of them wrong. There I go again. The fees are not that bad. The general monthly fees and stuff like that are very reasonable. They're less than what most U.S. banks are. They're less. I have banks in 4 countries. So, but to receive a wire, and this is this morning. I received a wire this morning because as any of you taking the tour know, you're paying a U.S. processor. I have to bring that money down here. So a wire transfer into my bank is $21.50, no matter what the amount is. So it is not that expensive. My a wire to my U.S. bank account is $15. So it's a little more, but it's not excessive. But I can receive a wire in 2 hours. From the time I initiate it online in my Bank of America to the time it arrives into my Panama bank is about 2 hours. So it's very fast, and I find very efficient. Okay. Oh, Diane, is that one of your puppies? Okay, we are over time. I see they have the countdown clock here that's going to kick us out. Real feedback. Who's got a last question?
Look at that.
Oh,
that was a nice
there's the puppy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Gene. Very, very pleased to meet you tonight. Okay, who's got a last question? Unmute yourself. Are you there, Susie?
Yes. Oh, you have a question?
Sure.
Oh, I do not have a question. It just said the host would like you to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you have a lot next week.
Hey, looking forward to it. I haven't been able to sleep, and it's going to be worse now since we're getting closer to coming. I'm so excited.
Don't forget these places at the airport.
Say that again?
Don't forget these places at the airport.
Okay.
Alrighty. When is the next call, Bob? I don't have an exact date, but based on February, it'll be near the end of February. I can tell you that. Okay, thanks, Lisha. We'll be talking to you next Monday on our private call that we're doing. So, okay. Thank you, Valerie. All right, everyone. And DJ, where's Nell? Are you hiding her?
She's cooking. I have to go.
She's cooking. You have to go. Okay. Oh, there you go.
See you guys soon.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
Okay, see you soon. Don't forget about us.
Alrighty, Diane. Diane, I'll get back to you tomorrow about your little doggies. I was coordinating schedules. We got a really busy March, but we can do it in the last 2 weeks. So I just got to get some dates for you. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. So once you know a little more, well, anyways, I'll email you tomorrow some suggested times.
Okay.
Because you got to get busy and finding a place to live and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Well, I got to get my ultimate disco cruise over with first, which is February 10th through the 15th that I won. And that's to the Bahamas. So I just got all my prep, you know, the arrangements for that done. So then I'll be working on that, coming there.
Alrighty.
That sounds awesome. Looking forward to see you. What?
So Donna, we'll be seeing these 2 guys next Thursday too. So
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
well, we're going to have a blast. We always do. And we're going to learn a lot.
That's great. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you for your trust, really.
Alrighty, guys. We're going to say good night. Hey, John, how are you?
Oh, wait.
John.
Hey, John, is that really you?
John?
Another alumni.
Yes. I just know his iPad.
Oh.
I've been on these before.
John.
Hey,
Maybe
John.
he's not listening.
Making us. Well, we love you, John.
Okay. Obviously, I can let mine out. Okay, guys, we're gonna.
Everybody,
We're gonna
thank
hang
you
up.
for your time.
Good night.
See you soon. Next week.
Bye.